You think your mortgage is the biggest financial decision of your life. It's not. It's that car sitting in your driveway. And I'm not talking about the sticker price. I'm not talking about the $35,000 you financed. I'm talking about what that car is actually costing you. The number that nobody at the dealership will ever put on a piece of paper and slide across the table. Because that $35,000 car, mathematically, provably, irrefutably, is costing you somewhere between $800,000 and $1.2 million. And by the end of this video, you won't be able to unsee that number. Every time you look at that car in your driveway, you're going to see that number. I'm sorry in advance. Let's get into it. Here's something the automotive industry figured out a long time ago. Human beings are terrible at math, but we are exceptional at rationalizing. So the car industry stopped selling you cars. They started selling you monthly payments. Think about how every car conversation goes. You walk onto that lot, the salesperson doesn't ask, "How much do you want to spend on a car?" They ask, "What are you comfortable with per month?" That question is a trap, and it is specifically designed to be a trap. Because the moment you anchor your brain to a monthly number, $600, $700, $800, your brain stops doing the real math. You stop thinking about total cost. You stop thinking about the interest rate buried in the contract. You stop thinking about the 72-month loan, that's 6 years, or the 84-month loan, that's 7 years, that they just casually normalize like it's nothing. 84 months, 7 years of payments on a car. You know what else takes about 7 years? Becoming a medical doctor. You could finance a doctor's education in the time it takes to pay off a truck. But the dealership made $699 a month sound reasonable, and your brain, because your brain wants the shiny thing, let them. According to Experian's State of the Automotive Finance Market Report, the average monthly car payment in America right now is hovering right around $700 for a new vehicle. The average loan term is pushing 68 to 72 months, and the average amount financed is over $40,000. Not the price of the car, the amount financed after the down payment. So we are a nation of people paying $700 a month for 6 years on a depreciating asset, while the bank collects interest, while the car loses value, while your investment accounts sit empty. And we call that normal. Normal is broke. I want to show you exactly how this works. Because the car payment doesn't just cost you money once. It costs you money in 3 simultaneous compounding ways. I call it the triple bleed. And each bleed is happening at the same time every single month while you're driving to work. Bleed 1, depreciation. The moment you sign that contract and drive that new car off the lot, you lose immediately. A new car loses somewhere between 15 and 20% of its value the second it leaves the dealership. Within the first year, it loses somewhere in the range of 20 to 30%. By year 5, that car you paid $40,000 for is worth maybe $20,000, maybe less. You are borrowing money at interest to purchase an asset that is guaranteed to lose value. Every single day you own it, it is worth less than the day before. Imagine borrowing money from the bank to buy a stock that your broker guaranteed would go down 50% over the next 5 years. You'd say that's insane. You'd walk out of that office. But we do it with cars, voluntarily, enthusiastically. We take pictures of the car and post it on Instagram. The depreciation alone on a $40,000 vehicle over 5 years can easily wipe out $15,000 to $20,000 in value. That money is just gone. It evaporated. You don't get it back. Now, layer on top of that the interest. The average interest rate on a new car loan in America right now is sitting above 7%. For used cars, it's even higher, closer to 11, 12%. If your credit isn't pristine, you're looking at 15, 18%, sometimes more. Let's do the real math.
You finance $40,000 at 7% interest over 72 months. Your monthly payment comes out to roughly $665 a month. Over the life of that loan, you pay back approximately $47,900. You borrowed $40,000. You paid back $47,900. You paid almost $8,000 just for the privilege of borrowing money to buy something that lost half its value while you were paying for it. And that $8,000 in interest, that's not building equity. It's not going into your 401k. It's not compounding. It's going directly into the bank's profit margin. So to recap bleeds 1 and 2, you bought a $40,000 car, it's now worth $20,000, and you paid $47,900 to own it. You are already nearly $28,000 underwater in pure wealth destruction before we even get to bleed 3. Bleed 3 is where it gets genuinely painful. This is the one they never talk about. The dealership will never mention it, the bank will never mention it, because if they did, nobody would ever finance a car again. It's called opportunity cost, and it is the most expensive thing in personal finance that most Americans have never been taught. Here's the question you need to ask yourself. Not, can I afford this monthly payment, but what else could this money become if I deployed it differently? Let's use the real number, $700, the average car note. What if, instead of sending $700 a month to a lender for 6 years, instead of funding someone else's business model, you redirected that $700 every single month into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund? The S&P 500 has returned an average of approximately 10% annually over the last 50 years. That's the historical number. It's not a guarantee of the future, but it's the best long-run benchmark we have. Over 6 years, the length of that car loan, you would invest $50,400 in total contributions. At 10% average annual return, that account would have grown to roughly $57,000 to $60,000 by the time the loan would have been paid off. But here's where it gets genuinely mind-altering. You don't touch it. You just leave it. You let it compound, because compound interest is the closest thing to magic that exists in mathematics. That $57,000 to $60,000 sitting in an S&P 500 index fund, untouched, at 10% average annual returns for the next 24 years? It becomes approximately $700,000 to $800,000 from one car payment. One 6-year car loan that you chose not to take. And if you were 25 when you made that decision and you're looking at a full 30-year horizon from the first payment, we're talking north of $1 million. You are not driving a $40,000 car. You are driving an $800,000 retirement. You are sitting in $1 million choice every single morning on your way to work. And the worst part? The truly diabolical part? The people who can least afford this wealth destruction are the ones most aggressively marketed to. The subprime auto loan industry is a machine specifically engineered to extract maximum interest from the people with the least financial education. It is not an accident. It is a business model. So why do we do it? If the math is this clear, and it is this clear, why do 85% of new car buyers in America choose to finance? The answer isn't stupidity. The people making these decisions are not stupid. The answer is something much more human and much more exploitable. Status. We are wired, deeply, evolutionarily wired, to signal our place in the social hierarchy. For most of human history, that signaling was about survival. The person with the most resources was the safest person. Status meant security. But that instinct got hijacked by marketing, by social media, by a culture that decided that looking wealthy and being wealthy were the same thing. They are not the same thing. They are frequently the opposite of each other. Think about what you are actually doing when you finance a luxury car you can't afford in cash. You are spending money you don't have on a thing you can't own outright to impress people you largely don't know who are sitting in traffic next to you and are entirely focused on their own status signals. The guy in the BMW next to you at the red light isn't thinking about your Escalade. He's thinking about whether his colleague noticed the new car he pulled into the parking lot in this morning. Nobody cares. And yet, we are bankrupting our futures for an audience that doesn't exist. Think about the genuinely wealthy people you know. Not the looking wealthy people, the actually wealthy people. The ones with real, multi-generational, sleep-well-at-night money. What do they drive? I will tell you what they drive. They drive Camrys. They drive Corollas. They drive used Honda Accords with 80,000 miles on them. The research on this is consistent and it is damning. The best-selling book, The Millionaire Next Door, profiled actual high-net-worth individuals in America and found that the single most popular car among millionaires was not a Mercedes. It was a Toyota. Let that land. True wealth is silent. Fake wealth is loud. The loudest car on the block is almost always the biggest financial lie on the block. Wealth is not what you drive. Wealth is what you own outright. Wealth is your net worth statement, not your driveway.
Let me make this real for you. Not abstract, not hypothetical. Let me show you two people, same age, same income, same city. Completely different financial trajectories, and the only difference between them is one decision they made at 27 years old. Meet Marcus. Marcus makes $65,000 a year. He's 27. He gets a promotion, feels good about himself, and decides he deserves a reward. He walks into a dealership and drives out in a brand new $42,000 Dodge Charger. He financed it. Of course he financed it. 72 months at 7.5% interest. His monthly payment is $728. He puts it on Instagram. 47 people like it. His cousin comments a fire emoji. That's it. That's the entire return on that decision. 47 likes and a fire emoji. Over the next 6 years, Marcus pays $52,416 to the lender. The car, which was worth $42,000 the day he bought it, is now worth approximately $18,000. He is upside down, way upside down. But the car looks good, and Marcus feels successful. The moment that loan is paid off, Marcus does what most Americans do. He goes back to the dealership, because now the car has 90,000 miles on it, and the new models look incredible, and he deserves another upgrade. He rolls into another 72-month loan. Marcus does this 3 times between age 27 and 45. At 45, Marcus has a net worth of roughly $34,000, mostly trapped in his 401k that he barely funded because $728 a month was already spoken for. He has no real investment portfolio. He has no passive income. He has 3 cars he drove into the ground and sold for a fraction of what he paid, and a driveway that always looked impressive. Now, meet David. David makes the same $65,000 a year. Same age, same city, same promotion. David buys a 2019 Honda Accord with 45,000 miles on it. He pays $17,500 cash, money he saved over 2 years by driving his previous car into the ground. The Accord is clean, it runs perfectly, nobody posts a fire emoji on Instagram. David doesn't care. Because David takes that $728 a month, the phantom car note, the payment he would have been making, and he routes it, every single month, without fail, into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund inside his Roth IRA and brokerage account. He automates it. It leaves his checking account on the first of every month, and he never sees it. It's just gone, into the market. At age 33, 6 years later, David's investment account has grown to approximately $68,000. The Honda still runs fine. He does basic maintenance. He doesn't care about the miles. He reruns the math every year, and the math keeps telling him to keep driving the Honda. At 40, his account is approaching $160,000. At 45, it's over $280,000, and it is compounding faster every single year because that's what compound interest does. It accelerates. The snowball gets bigger as it rolls. At 55, the same age Marcus is staring at a $34,000 net worth, David is sitting on approximately $1.3 million in invested assets. From one decision, one boring, invisible, nobody posted a fire emoji decision he made at 27. Same income, same city, same starting point. One of them chose to look rich. One of them chose to become rich. The car was the only fork in the road. And here's the part that should genuinely disturb you. Marcus's story is not the exception. Marcus is the median American. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances consistently shows that the median American family between ages 45 and 54 has a net worth of somewhere around $168,000, and a large chunk of that is home equity, not liquid investable assets. Meaning, most Americans arrive at the doorstep of retirement with almost nothing in the market. After 30 years of working, after 30 years of car payments and insurance premiums and dealership visits. And the system is perfectly happy with that outcome. A person with no savings is a person who keeps working, who keeps borrowing, who keeps making payments, who keeps the machine running. You are not a customer to the automotive lending industry. You are a revenue stream. And the most profitable revenue streams are the ones that don't realize what's happening to them. Now you know what's happening. One final gut punch before transitioning to the move. I want you to do one thing right now. Pull up your bank app, find your car payment transaction, look at the amount, and I want you to type that number into a compound interest calculator. Put in your age, put in 10% annual return, put in 25 or 30 years. Whatever number comes back, that's what your car is actually costing you. Not the sticker price, not the loan total. That number. Write it on a piece of paper and put it on your dashboard. Let's talk about what you do next.
All right, enough destruction. Let's talk about the move. Because the point of this video is not to make you feel bad about your car. The point is to show you the exit. And the exit is simpler than the financial industry wants you to believe. Step 1. Stop financing new cars. Full stop. I don't care what the dealer tells you about the 0.9% promotional rate or the certified pre-owned warranty. The game is rigged from the moment you walk onto that lot. New cars are for people who want to signal. Reliable used cars are for people who want to build. Step 2. Buy reliable, boring, used cars. In cash. I want you to write 2 names down. Toyota, Honda. These are 2 of the most reliable automotive brands on the planet. A used Toyota Camry or Honda Accord with 40,000 to 60,000 miles on it can be purchased for $15,000 to $20,000 cash. It will run for another 150,000 miles with basic maintenance. It will get you from A to B without apology, and you will own it outright on day 1. No monthly payment, no interest, no lender with a claim on your asset. Step 3. Take the phantom car note and put it to work. This is the core of what I call the stealth wealth strategy. You bought the used car in cash, which means you now have $700 a month that used to go to a lender and now goes nowhere because there is no lender. That $700 a month is now your weapon. You automate it. Every single month, that $700 goes into your investment pipeline. A Roth IRA, a brokerage account, your 401k contributions maxed first. You set it and you forget it. And then you remember what we just calculated. In 30 years, that single disciplined decision, drive the boring car, invest the difference, is worth approximately $1.5 million at historical S&P returns. Not from a high-paying job, not from getting lucky on a stock, from driving a car that doesn't impress anyone, from choosing to be wealthy instead of looking wealthy.
That is the entire game. That's the whole secret. Step 4. Drive it into the ground. Don't upgrade the moment the car is paid off. Don't fall for the new model year. Don't let the dealership's marketing make you feel like your reliable, paid-off car is somehow inadequate. The moment that car is fully yours, you have unlocked the most powerful vehicle in personal finance, the paid-off car. Every year you drive a paid-off car instead of financing a new one is a year you get to keep your $700. Route it into the market every single month without fail. Rich people drive boring cars for long periods of time. Then they buy more assets. Then they are rich enough to buy the fancy car in cash, if they even still want it by that point. Because once you understand money, the desire to perform wealth tends to quietly fade.
Let me bring this home. A car is a machine. Its function is transportation. It moves you from one location to another. That is it. That is the entire purpose. The automotive industry, the lending industry, and 40 years of American marketing have worked incredibly hard to make you forget that fact. They have attached your identity to a machine. They have attached your self-worth to a set of wheels. They have convinced you that the car you drive is a statement about who you are as a person. It is not. Who you are as a person is reflected in your balance sheet, in your investment accounts, in the financial security you are building for your family, in whether you are one emergency away from catastrophe or whether you have built a cushion that lets you move through life with dignity and options. A $700 car payment doesn't give you options, it removes them. Every month for 6 years, and then again, and then again. Don't let a vehicle transport you into a lifetime of financial servitude. Buy the boring car, invest the difference, build the real thing. If this math hit you the way it's supposed to hit you, subscribe. Because this is what we do here. We strip away the noise and show you exactly how the financial mechanics of your life actually work. Share this with someone who needs to hear it before they sign that loan agreement. And go look up the price of a used Camry.